Aquarius. Aquarius is one of the most enigmatic signs, zodiac energies that are really, that's out there. So, if you are interested in an Aquarius, you want to be with an Aquarius, maybe you're already dating one and you are so confused about what's going on, because that is very possible with an Aquarius. You have no idea what's going on. Or you're trying to make things work with this person, you just don't know what's going on, then this video is for you. So this will be for Aquarius Sun. So your zodiac sign, your horoscope sign is Aquarius. It'll be for Aquarius Moon, like my moon is very strongly in Aquarius. So even though I'm a Cancer Sun, a lot of the things that I share in this video, I can most definitely very strongly resonate with. Also maybe if your rising is in Aquarius, how do you do things? How do you start things like an Aquarius? So this is a very good video to look at. So if you are here, welcome. And you know what is interesting about Aquarius? The people that will probably watch this video the most are the Aquarius. So I've got 5 points here for you that if you want to date an Aquarius, be with an Aquarius, be friends with an Aquarius, live with them, make things work, that could be beneficial to you. I want you to know that these are general outlines. So everything is determined by a whole chart. So I want you to look at maybe where your placement is in Aquarius, and I'm going to include for you a link to a free website, Cafe Astrology. I'm not associated with them in any way whatsoever, but I like the way that they break things down. It's free. You can see where your placement is. Very, very exciting. Okay. I've also already made a video for Cancer, and I will put a link for that in the description. So maybe if you link to a Cancer, I'm a Cancerian. My best friend of more than 20 years is an Aquarius, and we have gone through the loops and changes. So I mean, for example, there was a time when we didn't speak for like a year. So it can be a little bit difficult with Aquarius. And the thing is also is that, especially with my very strong Aquarius moon, I really have that strong, innovative, progressive thinking that is very synonymous, with Aquarius, which also makes you very, I prefer to call myself, specific, but others perceive it as headstrong and stubborn and, even possibly looking for trouble. Aquarius is probably the most misunderstood zodiac energy. And here's the funny thing about it. They're probably the zodiac energy that's the least interested in explaining to other people, this is who I am. So my beautiful Aqua babies, if you are looking at this video today and you want to share with the world, this is who I am, and you agree with it, and go ahead and share it with them. If it's your first time, I'd like to welcome you. My name is Adrian Nelson. I'm a tarot reader. I'm an intuitive, natural born intuitive, past life regression hypnosis, theta healing, crystal healing, Reiki master. I love to bring astrology into what I do. And again, there is that Aquarius moon part of me that comes forward so strongly, because astrology and even numerology, and tarot, all these things that I'm very interested in, it doesn't tell you who you should be. It looks at who are you and how do you get to live and to operate successfully and happily and soul fulfillingly within that. That will be a very Aquarius sort of mission, vision, looking at things. And the Aquarians, they are very much humanitarians, which means, they want to look out for the world, but they're also very much about educating the world. So for example, you look at someone like Oprah Winfrey, who's a very textbook sort of Aquarius, that she maybe has an interview and people will say that, it's cruel of her to do this and it's cruel of her to do that. But what Aquarius wants to really put on the table is to look at things from different angles. That there's not necessarily just one truth, that there are differently perceived truths, different points of view of the same situation. So when you look at like an interview style like Oprah, you will see that, she will show you this point and she will show you that point. And it may seem like devil's advocate, but it's not necessarily. Now, with that being said, so, with that being said, just before I get into these 5 points specifically, is that with Aquarius, you're going to get 2 types of things going on typically, and that depends on the level of personal maturity, emotional maturity, where they are at emotionally, that sort of thing, how stable they basically feel within themselves. They wouldn't typically like to admit to the fact that they've done something wrong, because they think so much and dissect things so much before they do stuff. But You know, the more mature sort of Aquarius, they're going to admit, listen, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, I've done that, that's my fault. Whereas the more unevolved sort of Aquarius, it's never going to be their fault. They're always going to blame everybody else. And they can sort of be very sort of like attacking sometimes as well. You know, just something to be aware of. So just the basics around Aquarius. These are the people that are born between January the 21st and February the 19th. And also they are a fixed sign. You know, so fixed signs, they can be a little bit, they can become a little bit controlling sometimes, very sort of type A kind of personality, again, very progressive thinking, very innovative, can be very rebellious. You know, the most amazing sort of description that I once heard about Aquarius moon specifically, which is your emotions and how you operate, and I smiled because I could see myself in that, is that, and this is very Aquarius, is that, you know, if you, for example, grew up in a very religious family, you will rebel and go to the sort of spiritual side or vice versa. But again, it really comes down to not really looking to step on anybody's toes, but it really comes down to wanting to understand the other equation of the story. That is very much Aquarius. They live very much in their head. They live very much in their head, you know. And it's quite funny because something that you will often hear, this is a very typical Aquarius sort of response that you will often hear, is that, no, that's just my face, or my face just looks like that, because they live so much in their own head. Sometimes it becomes their world. They're not always aware of the world around them. And so what they feel might be expressed on their face, you know, or what they're thinking about might be expressed on their face. Or it's almost like, it's quite an interesting thing, really, honestly. It's almost like they become so invested in their own world that the outside becomes almost like an autopilot sort of shell. So they're typically not really angry about anything at all, but they're so in their own mind that, you know, they can't even bother to just get a placid look. The whole face just relaxes. It's almost like being dead. So you're like, what is wrong? And they're like, nothing is wrong, you know? So there's the 5 points that I want to touch. And, you know, I want you to, I'm not going to put in any timestamps or anything for this, because even though I'm breaking it down into 5 points, you want to kind of get a full package when it comes to Aquarius. You miss something, you kind of miss everything. You know, it's sort of like a cake. You forget to put in the eggs, the whole thing doesn't work. It's that sort of vibe. So they definitely need space. This is a big thing. I think this is one of the main reasons why friendships, relationships, anything with an Aquarius doesn't work. They can live in small spaces, they can live in confined spaces, they can even make themselves completely uncomfortable, but they do need that. I call it the aqua cave. They need that. Okay? They can be very expressive. They can be very dramatic. That's point number 2. You know, there's something about when it comes to surprises with them that you definitely want to know. So I'm going to get into that. Sexually, these people, when it comes to hanky-panky, because again, they are so explorative. If you if you want to be open to, you know, hanky-panky sort of exploration, Aquarius is your person. But you have to be very clear about what your mission is. We're going to talk about that. And also the biggest one, the biggest one, and that's the last point, point number 5, you never, ever, ever want to lie to these people. Never. Without exception, never. Okay? Just quickly, you know, as I said, they are fixed signs, so they can be very controlling. And energies that have that fixed sign sort of, you know, energy and alignment or sort of like with them is Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio. And if you think of Taurus, Leo, and Scorpio, what do they all have in mind? They are stubborn. They are set in their ways. This is what they want. This is how it must be. It's almost like they can, if they think that you don't have the intellect to keep up with the party, you can speak. It's like they don't even hear you. All right. And just to let you know, just the other signs as well, mutable, Gemini, Virgo, Sag, and Pisces, those are more flexible sort of energies. And then cardinal, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and Aries, they're very sort of primary energy. What is the base sort of thing? And so with mutable, still to a degree, Aquarius will typically get along. But when it comes to the cardinal signs, that is often where challenges come in. They may just feel that you are moving too slow. It's almost like the rabbit and the sort of like tortoise being in a race. You know, the rabbit's going to feel like, listen, you're just too slow for this, you know. So Actually, tortoise swims in water, but you know what I mean, you know. So just a couple of quick things about Aquarius before I get into these points. These are people that, first of all, I'm going to say to you, you always kind of want to expect the unexpected. That is a very Aquarius sort of thing. Expect the unexpected, you know. If you upset these people, they can go into a point where you don't exist in their world. You know, if I can tell you just a funny story very quickly, it wasn't very funny at the time though. As I said to you, my best friend is an Aquarius and we've been friends for more than 20 years. And so, you know, she was kind of like telling me this one day, walking to a store, and there was this lady that was doing very crappy things and then pretending that she was all friendly and all nice, but like, you know, talking like bad things about her behind her back, basically. And she told this woman straight, like, you don't exist in my world, which means there's no space for you in my mind. You're not going to live rent-free in my mind. Now, with that being said, Aquarius will, you know, it's quite funny. I can't exactly remember where exactly I heard this, but, you know, my best friend shared it with me. I think it was a YouTube or something that said that, you know, Aquarius can be that person that you will tell them this is the tea kettle and kettle is hot, and if you touch it, you're going to burn. They're still going to touch the tea kettle. They're still going to do it, you know. Another time, sort of like, there were these two people that we were sort of mutual friends with, you know, more her friends than my friends really, but, you know, we used to hang out in the same circles. And, you know, sometimes when we hang out with people for a while, they begin to like overstep the boundaries a little bit, and we talk to them and they don't get it. And so this one day we're sitting in this restaurant and these two people are sitting across from us, and she just didn't acknowledge them. When I say didn't acknowledge them, I mean it's like these people were only visible to me and not visible to her. And it's not a you know, it may seem sort of venomous initially, but it really isn't. It's just that, you know, like, you've pushed me too far, you've disrespected me. I'm not even going to give you the time of day. I'm not going to give you the opportunity to do that to me again. And so the thing with Aquarius is, by the time they sort of decide to go to that space with you, they've been playing the scenario in their mind over and over and over, and they realize that, you know, you've done this and you've done that, and they're very clear on, they've seen you basically, they've given you a lot of chances, and they're going to be like, I'm just done, you know. And it's like Control Alt Delete. It's like you don't exist. They're just done. They're not mad at you, not nothing. So let's get into these points quickly. So the first one is their need for space. I was going to put surprises first, but let's talk about their need for space. Sorry. This is not just a preference, this is a need. You know, Aquarius can become very prone to anxiety sometimes. They can often have trouble with sleep, insomnia. These people can go for days without sleeping. You know, and these are these people that you will see them and they can feel like they're falling apart inside, but when you see them, they glow. You know, so it's definitely that air sign sort of energy. They can decide how they want the outside to look. Whereas me, still being a Cancer sun, there is no way. You will see on my face exactly what my emotions are. I can't hide it, you know. So they definitely need space, and they need time to think. And this is something that is really important to them. To an Aquarius, which is an air sign, it's in the mind, their need for think is as necessary as their need to breathe. If they don't have a space in which they can just think, and when I say think, it's not so much about even just making a decision. It is about just sitting with their thoughts, seeing what comes up, contemplating it from this side to that side. It is the most exciting game to them. And if you can't give them that, then it's not going to work. The friendship's not going to work. The relationship's not going to work. In actual fact, you know, and if you're Aquarius or you know an Aquarius or you're dealing with an Aquarius, you can let us know in the comments. But I would say that the Aquarius that is in the happiest relationship connection of all is a person that, especially like in a marriage or like living together in a high level commitment, that sort of thing, where they will probably need a second bedroom just for themselves. And they're not just going to go there when they're angry, upset or whatever. They just need to go there to recharge. So you need to know that this person is not necessarily going to be sleeping next to you every single night. you know. They can also become very focused when they're busy with something, so they need a partner that understands that. But in the same token, they need a partner that can also like pull them out of that a little bit. So it's really about striking that balance with Aquarius. And my advice to you is going to be to let them take the lead a little bit initially, but don't let these people run over you. You know, Aquarius has this thing that is very sort of almost like semi-synonymous to what Scorpio does. They will test you. Like if they really develop feelings for you and they really want to be with you, they want to see if you have what it takes to be able to be with them. Do you have what it takes to be with them? Because they know that they can become extreme and they know that they can be overwhelming, and just their presence can be a lot sometimes. You know, they've got a very strong presence. They've got a very, very significant sort of presence, really. And it doesn't have to be a good or a bad thing. It's just sort of is what it is. They're very future thinkers. You know, they think of, okay, what is life going to be like 20 years from now? You know, so like this one person told me she was living in the space where she wanted to learn how to type. And this is very typical sort of Aquarius and what they need that space for. So when the rest of the household went to sleep, you know, she was living in a space that she didn't really like so much. She didn't quite know exactly how she would be able to, you know, to build a better life in the future for herself, but she will prepare for it as best that she can. You know, and that is, again, that is something that you would hear somebody like Oprah say. That is something that I would say, is that, you know, Aquarius doesn't believe in luck. Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. And so this person told me that what she would do is she would draw herself a keyboard, like a typing keyboard, and by the street light at night, when the rest of the household went to sleep, she would learn to type by that. That is a very Aquarius sort of thing. So they need their time, they need their space to be able to do that sort of thing. And if you're not going to give it to them, I promise you it is not going to work. But here's the other thing with being tested, you know, which I started speaking about, is that when they develop real feelings for you, they want to know if they can build a life with you, because these people do not like wasting their time. Okay, and also they don't like unnecessary emotions. It's very messy for them. So you will get with Aquarius, when they are very emotional, they will say things like, I don't know why I'm crying so much. You know, but if they can, you know, if Aquarius shows you their emotions, if they show you their tears, if they show you, even if you tell them something and, you know, that is sort of traumatic with you, and they say they can agree with that, they can relate to that, if they show you that side of them, they trust you. And trust me when I tell you, you do not want to betray these people's trust. No, you don't. Because if you're out, you're out. You cease to exist in their world. Okay? Let's speak about this other part of this, the second part. They can be quite expressive. They can be quite dramatic. That is where that strong presence. You know, Aquarius, typically, they make very good... I think they make excellent authors, really, you know, and even production, just anything, really. These people are survivors. They will be able to pursue and keep at something way longer than anybody else can. Way longer. But they are also prone to nervousness, you know, because they can really push themselves so much sometimes. They can actually even suppress their emotions sometimes. They don't allow themselves to feel. But the thing to actually understand about that is that Aquarius, actually, they are incredibly emotional beings. And there's also a shyness about them. They are as expressive and as dramatic as they are. They would rather contribute to the broader side of the greater good. So, you know, maybe they would rather be the scriptwriter of something instead of being the actor, for example. You know, they would rather do the behind the scenes type of thing, unless they understand that the best person for the job is them. And then they will do it. But it is, you know, these people are not typically arrogant, even though they may often seem arrogant, you know. It's like, again, you know, and I'm just using Oprah as an example because it's such a familiar example. You know, they say, you know, for me, it is about being full of myself, but not in an arrogant way, in a self-loving, accepting kind of way. You know, it's about the fullness of me. And also, you know, while the whole world criticizes you for everything, you like, you know, Aquarius is like, you can believe and say about whatever you want to say about me. I'm going to keep on doing my thing. You know, I'm going to focus on my thing. You know, this is my lane. If you want to run in my lane, it's all fine. But you know, you do you type of thing. Okay. They the one thing about Aquarius is that they can have a lot of difficulty letting go of things, and when they are in opposition with someone, that's before they make the decision to let you go or to stay, whatever. Things can become very turbulent, you know, very turbulent. They do have a lot of difficulty letting go because they don't always so easily let people in. And I'm talking about the inner circles. The Aquarius has an inner world that very few people know about. And they can actually be, for example, married to someone, and then they can have a different dynamic that knows that inner world, and their partner may not know that sort of part about them. You know, and it's not so much about hiding it. It's just about they understand that sometimes you need that soundboard space, that safe space, so that you can go and complain about your partner, so that you can work through it. They really get that. Okay, but you know, as I said, they do have that touch the kettle sort of thing, and also they have a tendency to really push themselves, especially if they're feeling compromised. You know, lack of money, not feeling all that confident in their body, not so sure about their skill. These are people that will go and take on extra things, extra courses, extra tasks, you know, open a second business, just to show to themselves that they are capable of working through this thing, you know. And they really need a partner that is going to be able to give them that freedom. But also at some point is going to say, listen, you might want to rethink this. Okay? So if you let them run too much, then they're going to know that you let them run. Or, you know, as I don't know why I keep on going away from this point, but like sort of like the testing sort of thing, which Scorpio quite does as well, is that, you know, and sometimes Gemini can also do this. So they will deliberately show you the worst of themselves because they know how bad they can get sometimes, to see if you are capable of dealing with that. Can you take the punch? You know? And the thing about Aquarius is they need to first commit in their mind. They need to know that this can work. As I said, they don't like to waste their time. They need to know that it can work before they're going to go and steadfastly commit. And if you're an Aquarius, you're dealing with an Aquarius, you know, then let us know in the description, you know, if this resonates, how this resonates. And of course, you're looking at a whole chart. That is why I'm giving you that link there as well. So you want to look at different things also, you know. So let's say your Mars is in something like Scorpio, which can be a very, or even something like Capricorn, which can be something like a very, you know, confrontational energy sometimes, you know, then a lot of these things that I said might be aggravated and even be a little bit more nasty, you know. But then let's say, for example, you've got something like a Leo moon, which is a more encompassing sort of energy. Then you will typically put up with a lot more than maybe other Aquarius will put up with, you know. It's also with your passions, with your you know, something like your Venus, your passion, your drive, your motivation, what makes you happy. You know, Aquarius is a lot like that. So we want to look at a whole chart when we look at anybody, but Aquarius is incredibly unique in their approach. And I find it even when I do things like weekly tarot readings, you know, if they like, for example, what I'm putting out, you know, they will watch it several times and share it with other people, because next time when I do a video, they want me to put them first. So if they give me the most views and I go and put everybody else first and I keep on putting them last, they're going to be like, but you're not respecting me. Why should I wait if I'm the one that's giving you the biggest contribution? You know, so that's quite something with them as well. And surprises, my people. Now, I know that when we fall in love with someone, we like to surprise them. I'm going to say lay off the surprises when it gets to Aquarius until you know them better, until you've got some tenure on the clock. And when I say tenure, I mean quite a stretch of tenure, you know. The wonderful thing about Aquarius is, even though they can really be so hard on themselves, they really appreciate the small things. Like they are the ultimate when it comes to appreciating the small things, you know. Like, for example, if you're going to make them coffee every day, they're going to appreciate that, even if they don't drink the coffee, or they end up maybe drinking it cold. But the thing is also, if you set an expectation, then you have to keep that expectation, you know. They don't like surprises, they don't like unexpected things. So whether it's a big surprise party or just suddenly changing your way, they're going to start thinking about it. And if you don't give them a reason why, they're going to look at you, they're going to give you that opportunity. Now, I personally felt, and this is even within me, you know, I personally felt it's a little warped, that, you know, they kind of look and see, are you going to explain, what are you going to do? So they watch you, you know, and then they base their opinion and their end decision based on all of this and observation. And that is why by the time they make a decision, they let you go, stuff like that, it's pretty much a done deal. You know, they can do so with quite a lot of peace. And it's quite interesting to see an Aquarius breakdown. They will break down completely. It is like a complete meltdown. And when that is done, it doesn't typically last all that long. When that is done, it's done. They got it out of a system. Oh, I felt it. Oh my God, I felt emotions. And then they move on. You know, but here's a big thing though. People often have the idea that Aquarius is very cold, and they're not. They're very warm, they're very embracing, they're very helpful, they're very supportive. They're really cool people. They really, really are. They just, you know, you get all the other 11 zodiac houses, and obviously everybody's got their own unique attributes, and then there's Aquarius. They are just completely different kettle of fish, completely different. And they're quite happy with that as well, you know. Especially the young Aquarius, they'll be like, don't want to be like anybody else. They're quite a lot about their uniqueness, you know. And they like the idea of being unique and in the sort of like emotionally, mentally, spiritually, personally undeveloped Aquarius. This can often be, it can go into the egotistical direction. They can become quite attacking with things, and especially also when they're not in the best space in their life, you know. I remember a little while ago, an Aquarius person, you know, a lady that I kind of got along with quite well. You know, she was going through some challenging things in her life. And then, you know, she was kind of like accusing me of copycatting what she's doing. And I was like, well, not really. And we're pretty much doing the same sort of thing, you know. And then, you know, I kind of sort of did my own thing again. The person comes back and they're like, I told you this and you didn't, you know, I feel that you didn't hear me, you didn't listen to me. You know, this is how I felt. And, you know, I'm sorry, I'm just going to stand in my power. I'm not just going to stand for that. So, you know, Aquarius, when they go through a difficult time like that, they can have a strong tendency to deflect. Very strong, you know. And in that moment, it will pretty much never be their fault. I'm going to say that if you were an Aquarius and they're going through a difficult time, it's usually better to kind of let them go through that motion first, you know, unless they're not in danger or, you know, somebody else is not in danger, because they can be prone to violence. Especially in the younger years, they can be prone to violence. And Aquarius doesn't fight to fight fair. Aquarius fights to eliminate you. They really do, you know. So by the time Aquarius goes through things like, you don't exist in my world, Baba, pull back. Pull back. Put up your white flag, but put up your white flag while you are retrieving, you know. I know I'm making fun of this, but like, you know, don't mess with these people. Really don't. Sexual innuendos. Now, if you are a person who wants to explore your sensuality, your sexuality, possibilities, you know, if you want to get all sorts of intimate and freaky, and, you know, you want to try the spiderweb split tree, ancient Chinese sort of rap, whatever that may be, first of all, they're probably going to know about it. And, you know, they can be very progressively open to that sort of thing. I think just something very important to know is that I think when somebody sees that freaky side of Aquarius, you might sort of like want to, you know, go in that direction all the time. But, you know, it's important to remember at the end of the day that you're dealing with a human being with feelings and with emotions. And just because they don't wear it on their sleeve doesn't mean that they don't have emotions. In actual fact, Aquarius is incredibly emotional. They're very sensitive people. And they don't typically show it because sometimes for them, showing emotions can be seen as weak. you know, as a way in which something that you can use against me. So again, if you see their emotions, if they show your emotions, you pretty much in the inner circle, and you wanna respect that, and you wanna keep it sacred, and you wanna be honorable with it, you know. But also, if you are the kind of person that, you know, that just wants to do, like, you know, boop, 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 boop. If you want to go the very, you know, old-time mom and dad boring sort of way in sexual things, you're going to bore these people. You're going to make them cheat on you. And it's funny, if they love you, because that's the need, and they still need to fulfill their needs. So if they really love you, if they really care about you, now, I know that to some people this might seem crazy. But if they really love you, they understand that if this need is not fulfilled, it's not going to work out. So they will cheat to save the relationship. I know that it sounds crazy, but it really, that's how it goes. Okay? These people are very open to toys, swinging, all sorts of stuff. But, you know, which kind of takes us into the next point, the last point: don't lie to them. They watch about honesty. You know, and that also ties in with the surprises. You have to be clear about your intentions. So if you pick them up at the bar, this is quite Aquarius, quite interesting. You have to tell them, are you interested in me because you think I'm relationship material? Do you just want to, you know, let's just get a freak on tonight? Do you want us to be friends with benefits? Do you want us to be acquaintances with benefits? Very different sort of thing. You know, what is it that you want? And the thing about Aquarius is they're going to know when things change. You cannot lie to these people. So if you are just friends with benefits, and you're developing feelings for them, they will probably know before you even realize it. You want to talk about it. You know, you want to talk about it. If you're not going to talk about it, they're going to see, where do you intend on going with this? And to them, it's lying. It goes in that whole thing of, I don't like surprises type of thing, you know. And they're going to say, when they eventually talk to you, they're going to say, listen, I feel that you're not being transparent with me. I can't be with you if you're not transparent. So by the time they have the conversation with you, they're pretty much having the conversation to break up with you, you know. And once their mind is made up, it's made up. And these people are able to survive through challenges that other people can't survive. So they're not typically going to stay with you for status or money or a lot of those reasons why some people stay. So you want to know that. You know, they're going to stay for you. And also, speaking of money, Aquarius is typically going to be the person that is going to make more money than you. It just is what it is, strong Aquarius placement. So if you can be okay with that, then perfectly fine. If you can't be okay with it, it's not going to work. You know, it's not going to work. They like honesty. And if you're going to change your mind, you need to, this is probably the biggest crux. If and these people are very hesitant to give their word because they honor their word. If you're going to give an Aquarius your word, you have to keep it. You have to keep it. Because they've got an expectation in their mind, they built a reality around it. If you just let them down, disappoint you, don't rock up, last minute changes, and surprises go in line with it, last minute changes, they're not prepared for it, they're going to tell you off, they're going to tell you why they don't appreciate it, and they're not going to like it, they're going to find it invasive. Okay? So, beautiful people, our amazing Aquarius. I really love them very, very much. And a really wonderful energy to have in your circle. But honesty, truth, respect, very big. You know, are you dependable? Are you reliable? Are you honest? Are you open to change? Are you willing to work at things? These are people that can come and say to them, listen, baby, I'm so sorry. I cheated. This is the reason why I cheated. Okay, so what do you want from there? I don't know. Should we go our separate ways? Shall we get some help? Shall we get some support? They are open to that. They've got a sense of loyalty that can almost be to their detriment sometimes. Okay, so that is the basics around Aquarius. I hope that it helps. Let me know in the comments. Remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share, and let me know where in the world we are connecting from. You know, I look forward to connecting with you on my next video. Namaste, love and light.